Hello everyone, I'm RVD and welcome to the next video of my playlist Placement Interview Questions on C Programming. Even though the name of the playlist is Placement Interview Questions on C Programming, I've tried my best to give you all the fundamental concepts in variety of videos that we had seen so far. So this playlist can also be used to prepare for fundamentals of C programming, or if you want to prepare a C programming language. Now, before we go ahead with the current topic of this video, let me remind you, if you have not subscribed my channel yet, then do subscribe. You can see the subscribe button right down there, and do hit the bell icon so that you'll be able to get the alerts for my new videos. There are 3 playlists, so if you visit my channel, okay, you will see the different playlists that I'm running. The one is the one which is currently this video is getting uploaded, that is placement interview questions on C programming. Then the other one is placement interview questions on data structures, and the third one is purely a course on data structure. So you will see wonderful videos on concepts, on fundamentals being already uploaded. So, and the more videos and the new playlist are obviously planned in near future. So do visit and explore the different playlist. Let's move ahead to the current topic of this video. In this, we will be looking at the question, what are the bitwise operators in C? Okay, so we are into operators, and we had seen so far the basic operators like arithmetic operators and relational operators and logical operators. Now it's a turn for bitwise operators. As the name suggests, you can see bitwise operators are going to be used along with the bit patterns. Logical operators, they're used with the truth value, whereas the bitwise operators are being used with the bit patterns. So what all the bitwise operators we have? Bitwise AND, if you remember, for logical AND it was double ampersand. For bitwise AND it's a single ampersand. Bitwise OR, again single vertical line. Bitwise XOR, you can see this particular sign is being used for bitwise XOR. Then for bitwise complement we use this sign. So for XOR we use this one, which is called as a circumflex sign, whereas for bitwise complement what we use is the a tilde sign. So this is bitwise XOR and this is bitwise complement. Right? So these are the operators. Now obviously it will be good to know about their tables. But as far as bitwise AND and OR is concerned, I hope you people know it from logical operators. It remains same. Only logical operators work on true or false. Bitwise AND and OR will work on zeros and ones because they're going to work on bit pattern. So AND is going to give you 1 only if both of them are 1. Otherwise it will give you 0. OR is going to give you 0 only when both of them are 0. Otherwise it's going to give you 1. Let's look at the XOR. Complement is also simple. If at all I've got, let's say, A as 0, then complement of A is going to be 1. And if it is already 1, then it will be 0. Okay, let's look at the table for XOR. Okay, before that we'll have some points to be discussed. Bitwise operators in C are used to work on bit patterns, okay, as we've already seen, and hence bitwise operators can be used with integer operands. See, logical operators, if at all we use with integer operands, we had seen that it takes the truth value, because your logical operators are supposed to work on truth value. Whereas in bitwise operators, we are supposed to work on bit patterns, and hence the operands ideally that a bitwise operators must have are nothing but integer operands. Okay, bitwise AND OR and bitwise XOR are the binary operators. So obviously they would be used with 2 operands, whereas bitwise complement is unary operator. Fine. So let's look at the truth table for bitwise XOR. Okay, you can clearly see 0 0 gives you 0, 0 1 1, 1 0 1, 1 1 0. So the idea is, if both of them are same, say see 0 0 same, so answer is 0, 1 1 same, so answer is 0. So in that case the answer is going to be 0. If both of them are different, then the answer is going to be 1. So 0 1 1, 1 0 1. So that is the way you can very well try to understand and remember. In XOR, if both the operands have a same value, let that be 0 0 or let that be 1 1, the answer is going to be 0. and if both of them have got a different value, then the answer is going to be 1. It can also be considered as a binary addition. 0 plus 0 is 0, but 0 plus 1 is 1, even 1 plus 0 is 1, and 1 plus 1 is actually 0 and 1 carry, but the answer is 0. So your bitwise XOR is also considered to be binary addition. So it gives you similar effect of binary addition. Fine, let's look at some of the examples. Okay, so 25, I've taken the binary pattern of that. I can take 8-bit or as well as 16-bit can also be taken. Okay, but for a practice purpose, this much is okay. I've taken 43 as the other one, and that's the reason this 0 is being added here. So 25 and 43, 43 has got a longer one, so I have added 0 so that they match in length. Okay, now let us have different operations to be performed on that. So I want to do ANDing. Now you can see 1 1 1 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 0 0 1 0. So I'm doing the ANDing, and if you see the result, if I convert that to integer, it's going to be 9. Fine. Now let us look at the OR. OR is 1 1 1, 0 1 is also 1, 0 0 will be but 0, 1 1 1, 1 0 1, 0 1 is also 1, and you can see the answer is going to be 59. How do we get this answer? This is nothing but 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and you have to get that converted back into integers. So ideally, if I keep all ones, this is 32, so it's going to be 63 if I put all ones. Now only what is not 1 is 4. So if I take 64 out from 63, I'll be getting 59. The same thing you can cross check. 32 plus 16 is 48, plus 8 is 56, and plus 2 is 58, and plus 1 is 59. Okay, so that's how you will be getting the OR. Let's look at the XOR. See 1 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 0 is 1 and 0 1 is 1. So it's going to be 32 plus 16, that is 48, plus 2, which is 50. Let's look at the example for complement. Now for complement, I have to have 8-bit representation. So for 25, I've taken the 8-bit representation. Now I have to take its complement. Okay, so complement is going to be, you can wherever it's 0, you have to put it 1. So 1 1 1 0 and 0 1 1 0. Now what exactly is this? It's going to be negative, you know very well. So instead of this keeping it as it is, what I'll take 2's complement of this, so that I'll be able to get the answer. So 2's complement is this 0 0. You have to take 1's complement and then add 1 to it. I've done it directly. So in 2's complement you get this, that is 26 as the answer, but the sign bit was 1, hence the answer is minus 26. So complement of 25 is minus 26. So maybe if at all I take the rule, complement of n can be considered as minus of n plus 1. Okay, that's the rule. Okay, and that you can very well cross check with other examples as well. I've given another example, that is 43. So that's the binary pattern. This is a 8-bit representation for 43. Now you take 2's complement. So it's going to be 1 1 0 1 0 1 0 0 and plus 1, so it will be 0 1 at the end. Okay, that is 1's complement actually. Now I want to find 2's complement. Okay, so I'll take 1's complement first and then I'll add 1 to it, and if I do that, I'll be getting this. Clear? If you want the steps, it will be 0 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 1 and plus 1 will give you 2's complement. So everything is going to stay same. Here 1 plus 1 is 0, 1 carry, 1 plus 1 is 0, 1 carry, and this. So this is the answer. And you can see it is 32 plus 8, 40 plus 1, 44. And the sign bit was 1, so it is minus 44. So complement of 43 is minus 44. Clear? Okay. Now maybe the same thing I'll be able to show you with the help of, before we obviously say thanks, I'll be showing you with the help of the ID. Okay, so now maybe a bit of change. I'll be changing the ID from Turbo C to your Dave C++. Okay, I actually started using Turbo C for my earlier videos because they were like fond memories of old days. We had used it really to a greater extent, and I thought maybe it is actually doing the job. That is, it's like giving me whatever we want to. But still, I felt like, the better UI and all, we have a Dev C++ options available. You can see, you can find it on Google. It's a freely available IDE that you also can take up and you also can use. So let me just show you maybe a simple hello world program here, and then I'll show you how the complement and how the ORing and XORing and all these things could be done. Okay, so maybe the first time there's something getting executed, if I'm not wrong. We had done that earlier for showing you some examples, but first time it is getting executed on Dev C++. So compiling is simply F9. You can see there are no errors. F10 will obviously give you the output. So you can see the output is hello world, and it is held. The screen is getting held automatically. So that's the reason there is no getch, no clear screen, because automatically it like opens a new screen every time we have to show the output. And so there's no need of Conio. So you obviously should not put Conio, because the editor won't understand that. So this is a simple way we can work with Dev C++. Now let me show you how can we do the testing of what we have done so far in our current video. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'll be taking, let's say directly we can put printf. Yeah, printf answer equal to %d/n. Okay, and I'll be putting one by one, 25 and 43. Okay, I hope you remember the answers, or you can very well go back and cross check. Okay, whatever I'll be putting. So F11 is directly to compile and run. Answer is 9. I hope you remember it was 9. Now when I put OR, if you remember, it was like 4 less than 63, that is 59. Let's check. Yes, it's 59. Okay, and for XOR, if I'm not wrong, it was 50. Okay, so let's check with XOR. Yes, perfect. So all the answers came correct. Then let's look at the complement. Complement of 25. If you remember, it came as minus 26. Yes, it is coming as minus 26. Then it was complement of 43. So it came as what? Minus 44. Perfect. Yes, so it's like a very good experience for all of us. We started working on a new, better IDE, that is Dev C++, with a better UI as such. And you had seen all the operations that we had manually done there getting executed and giving us the same and the correct answer. Fine, so you obviously can take up more examples, you can do testing, do the things manually, test it on the computer, and you can get it in a very better and a clear manner. Fine, so that was about bitwise operators in C. Those who know a bit of C might be wondering where are the bitwise shift operators? Yeah, hold on, maybe there is another video coming in for bitwise shift operators as well. But as far as the current video is concerned, we have done with bitwise operators. Fine, so that's it. Thank you and happy learning.